Alright, so big news actually. NIO could do Baas price adjustments in as soon as after Chinese New Year. And by the way, Baas as in battery rental, not battery swap, nothing to do with battery swap. Okay, here in China, Baas does not have anything to do with battery swap. So I stumbled across this article and it was shared by multiple NIO owners here in China, and this perfectly explains the predicament of Baas here in China and the problems that they're facing, the situation, and how it's all going to be resolved, and everything explained down to the nitty-gritty details. And I think it's very interesting and important to understand this as a shareholder. Otherwise, you do not know what is actually going on. So the article is broken down in 7 parts. So the first part, they talk quickly about Baas. So launched on August 20th, 2020, NIO officially launched the battery rental service Baas. The so-called Baas stands for Battery as a Service. NIO Baas provides users with comprehensive services including vehicle and battery separation, battery rental. All NIO models can be purchased in Baas mode. If you choose the battery rental mode, the price of the standard battery pack 75 kilowatt hour will be reduced by 70,000 RMB, and the price of the long range battery pack 100 kilowatt hour will be reduced by 128,000 RMB. Users must pay battery rental fees to NIO on a monthly basis. When NIO Chairman Li Bin announced the Baas business, he claimed that NIO has opened up all aspects of the Baas business, including licensing, insurance, and financial loans. The issue of purchasing insurance for Baas vehicles has not been completely resolved to this day. There will be detailed analysis in the following article. Friends who are concerned about this matter, please read it patiently. Number 2, closed loop. Before the release of the Baas policy, NIO had already started a trial run of its second-hand car business internally. As a new model in the automotive industry, after the launch of Baas, there has been an increasing number of discussion on the resale and circulation of Baas vehicles. On January 3rd, 2021, NIO officially announced its entry into the second-hand car business, announcing that it would purchase NIO vehicles from users at the highest price in the industry. If users need to sell their NIO brand vehicles, they can contact NIO officials as soon as possible. This policy solves the circulation problem of Baas vehicles in one fell swoop, provides an effective exit mechanism, completes the closed loop of the Baas business model, and at the same time ensures the value preservation rate of Baas vehicles. It can be said that it kills multiple birds with one stone. 3. Updated in 2022, with the price of lithium carbonate soaring, NIO issued a policy adjustment on April 10th, 2022. When NIO is purchased in the form of Baas, the monthly rent for long-range battery pack will rise to 1,680 RMB per month. 4. Enter 2023, learning period. With the increasing competition in the domestic new energy vehicle market, due to the pressure of sales, NIO on June 12, 2023 adjusted the price of the new car and user rights. Chairman Li Bin said that NIO now regards official second-hand cars as a backing role and suggests that users who need to sell cars choose other channels to sell cars. 2 days later, on June 14th, a user contacted NIO to try to sell a vehicle. However, NIO customer service said that NIO's official second-hand cars were no longer accepted and could assist users in contacting third parties or listing car for owners on the NIO app. Direct sales for processing. At this time, NIO may not have realized how much impact this behavior will have on its Baas business model. Number 5. After NIO officially stopped supporting second-hand cars, the value retention rate of Baas vehicles plummeted. If NIO Baas owners want to sell their vehicles, the prices given by second-hand car dealers are simple and crude, which gives NIO's Baas business model a heavy blow from the outside. Suppose a user wants to sell an ES6 purchased 2 years ago. If the battery is bought out, the purchase price offered by the second-hand dealer is 190,000 RMB. If the battery is leased, the purchase price offered by the second-hand dealer is the total price 190,000 minus the battery price 70,000, which is only 120,000 RMB. If the new car price of this car is 380,000 RMB, the 2-year value preservation rate of buying out the battery for the vehicle is 19 divided by 38, which equals 50%. The Baas value retention rate is only 12 divided by 31, which equals 38.7%. This is seriously inconsistent with NIO's previous statement that purchasing the vehicle in the form of Baas will preserve the value of the vehicle more. Baas car owners not only have to bear the battery rental during the period of using the car, but also bear a higher car body depreciation rate. Moreover, due to excessive depreciation, the vehicle cannot be sold normally, and the battery rental has to be paid to NIO every month. NIO and second-hand car dealers inadvertently angered tens of thousands of Baas car owners. They had no choice but to unite and ask NIO for an explanation. The fundamental reason is that after NIO no longer underwrites second-hand cars, the value retention rate of Baas vehicles plummeted, causing the circulation link to be interrupted and Baas car owners unable to sell their cars normally. In addition, the price of lithium carbonate has plummeted this year from nearly 500,000 yuan per ton at its peak to less than 100,000 yuan per ton, but NIO has shown no intention to reduce battery rents. In a sense, NIO has eroded users' trust step by step and is destroying the entire business model step by step. Number 6, a trap. Finally, explains the issue of purchasing insurance for Baas vehicles. Since NIO released the Baas policy, the issue of commercially insurance for Baas vehicles has not been effectively resolved. The so-called separation of vehicle and battery is only separated at the time of purchase. Although one invoice can be issued for the body and one for the battery, it is not completed during the insurance process. The Insurance Regulatory Commission's car electricity separation policy has not yet been launched. The insurance company also made it clear in its reply to NIO Baas car owners that the car damage insurance actually purchased by the car owners still covers body plus battery. All along, when Baas vehicles are insured for commercial insurance, they are the same insurance as the vehicles for which the battery is bought out. This means that the actual car damage insurance premiums paid by Baas car owners and car owners who buy out the battery are almost the same. Taking an ET5 for example, the picture below is the vehicle insurance model shown for the real policy for leasing batteries and buying out batteries. As we all know, if you purchase a NIO vehicle in the form of Baas, car owners who do not purchase worry-free service will need to pay additional fees to NIO, 80 RMB per month battery protection fee. This 80 RMB per month is actually the product quality liability insurance and property comprehensive insurance purchased for the rented battery. NIO also claims that if you choose worry-free service, the battery insurance will be covered by worry-free service. It can be seen that regardless of whether Baas car owners purchase NIO's worry-free service, they have purchased two insurances for the rented battery. One is the normal car damage insurance, and the other is the protection fee of 80 RMB per month or battery insurance covered by worry-free service. In other words, if you buy an ET5 that rents a battery for RMB 230,000 yuan, you will not only have to pay the same amount of premium as the ET5 that buys out the battery for RMB 300,000 yuan, but you also will have to pay additional battery protection fees. What is the point of this? 7. The good news is that NIO has finally started to take action. According to Qin Lihong, NIO's president, during face-to-face communication with users in Wuhan on January 20th, 2024, NIO will adjust Baas-related policies after the Spring Festival. But if some rights were only issued to Baas vehicles, it may be difficult for users to understand. Although this can improve the value preservation rate of Baas vehicles, it is more difficult to take into account all Baas users. In addition to the value preservation rate and rent, most Baas users also demand a more reasonable exit mechanism. If it is indeed sincere, NIO should also adjust the worry-free service fees and battery guarantee fees for Baas vehicles. at least before the introduction of car battery separation policy in the insurance industry. The extra fees paid by users will be reduced or refunded from the perspective of worry-free service, and the 80 yuan per month battery protection fee for non-worry-free users will be canceled. 2024 will be another year of great evolution in the new energy vehicle industry, and some users may not have much patience and empathy for NIO. It is hoped that policy adjustments after the Spring Festival can be implemented in one big step. Our ancestors have a saying, if we cooperate, we will both gain. If we fight, we will both lose. The pioneers have a saying, the revolution has not yet succeeded, and comrades still need to work hard. In general, a very well-written article that summarizes all the challenges that Baas faces right now, and I actually do agree with them. If they do fix all these problems, then everything is actually going to be very good. And NIO had a good working solution where they just outright offered the highest price for second-hand purchases, but after giving that up, everything just went to shit. So that is unfortunate, but hopefully NIO comes out with a good solution that everybody will be happy about, and hopefully that will also boost sales, which I believe it will boost sales if they make the right choices and make Baas rental fees lower, battery fees lower. That's going to be like essentially price cuts, and everybody will be very happy with that.